SJ. Welcome to Mvskoke Radio, your weekly source for tribal and community news, interesting guests and discussions, plus a local events calendar. SJ Stongo, Gary Fife, Joe Jeff Gados. Welcome to this week's edition of Seat of Your Pants Radio. We've got some wonderful things we had lined up to talk about the upcoming festival, which is the end of next week. And the crew that we had lined up from Tourism and Recreation have got a couple of other things that have occupied their time at the moment, so they're doing a bit of scrambling also. We were going to talk about today about the lineup of the program, what we've got, any changes, things we need to be aware of. And first of all, we would like to say that once again, with the wonderful cooperation of Brooks Brewer here at 1240 The Brew, we will be broadcasting live from the festival grounds on Friday morning. So there will be no show on Wednesday morning, next Wednesday, but there will be the live broadcast from the festival Friday morning, which is kind of a quiet time there. So if you've got nothing to do and you're wandering around, come by the festival grounds, say howdy, and maybe say hello to our listeners for us. In the meantime, we're making it up as we go, as I say. Let me share some community announcements here. We kind of make things upside down here on our show. Kind of some of the things that we've been awful pressed to put out, but we haven't exactly had the time. First of all, here's a salute to our wonderful Mvskoke Youth. The Mvskoke Youth Awards Banquet's coming up June the 20th. That's a Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Mvskoke Dome. That's to celebrate the wonderful achievements of the youth visionaries and the old who help the young, as well as members of the Mvskoke Nation Youth Council, a wonderful group. Tickets are on sale for $10 and can be purchased at their youth services office here in downtown Okmulgee or at the door. And if you're interested, you can give them a call at 918-549-2557 if you have questions or need more information. Okay, let's see what else we got. All right. For all of you basketball fiends out there, a 3-on-3 tournament coming up Saturday, June the 17th. Where are we? Yeah. 9 a.m. Mvskoke Dome at the Claude Cox Complex. And we're looking at having them come in. So we're going to take a short pause while we rearrange ourselves and be right back with you.
One Fire Casino in Okmulgee offers Ladies' Day every Monday with $5 match play, VIP days for seniors on Tuesdays, lunchtime match plays on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and several other great drawings and prizes throughout the weekend. Don't forget to take advantage of spinning the wheel on Sundays to win up to $5,000 cash. Be sure to check out the daily meal specials at Council Oak Cafe. There are exciting monthly giveaways with extravagant prizes. Come and play at One Fire Casino, where it really is okay to play with fire.
It's once again time for the 43rd Annual Mvskoke Nation Festival Weekend, June 22nd through 24th in Okmulgee, featuring your favorite festival events including cultural activities, the art market, the All-Indian Rodeo that started it all, sports competitions, the parade, plus a can't-miss entertainment schedule. Grammy Award winner Leanne Womack headlines Country Night Friday, June 24th at 9 p.m. Saturday night, June 25th is Blues Night, headlined by Kenny Wayne Shepherd. For more information on Festival Weekend, including schedules and entry forms, visit creektourism.com.
I started doing it when I was 11. I wanted to be just like my big brother. And some of my friends were already doing it. We got hooked fast. I just can't get enough. I'm Jacob, and I'm addicted to playing the drums.
There's lots of stuff that makes it cool to be Native. Doing meth isn't one of them. Find something better to do. Check out ncai.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America and the National Congress of American Indians.
All right, welcome back to our program. And as we're making some progress here in our Make It Up As You Go Along program, we've got Ryan Logan from Tourism and Recreation on the line. How are you this morning, sir?
Good morning.
I understand you're kind of busy over there, huh?
I want to make sure that we had you guys covered.
Oh, well, I appreciate it so much because I was staring at about 25 minutes of dead air almost. Now, first of all, my salute to you and your crew there. You're working with a reduced task force there. I understand there have been some changes in the personnel over there, and you're covering a lot more bases. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we've had a lot of changes on there, but the festival's still going full force.
Yeah, okay. We'll come out just as crazy and mad as the rest of your crew there. Well, we want to first of all say thank you for making time for me this morning. I know that your schedule is berserk, but we wanted to run over the schedule as best as we can, and a few changes and things that people need to be aware of this year's festival. First of all, no ice chest, right?
No ice chests. We do allow people to bring in drinks and food or whatnot, but the Light Horse Police cannot see through them, and we want to make sure it's a family atmosphere and safe for everybody. So we do not allow alcohol on the premises, and that's why we have to unfortunately ban ice chests.
Right, that's how it was being, let's call it, smuggled in. So, folks, if you're thinking about bringing alcohol with you to enjoy a concert or so, try a soft drink or something that's available out there. Sorry to say, no ice chests, first of all. Okay, now we've actually seen the festival kick off back on June the 3rd. On Saturday, we had our Miss and Junior Miss Mvskoke Creek Nation Scholarship Pageant at the Dome, and we have new royalty for this year, right?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we're really excited to have them. This will be their first festival, as being Miss and Junior Miss, and they'll get to see festival from a whole new light, seeing the rodeo and going through the parade and whatnot. It'll be a great time for them.
Right. You wouldn't happen to have some names there handy, would you?
Oh, I sure don't. I made sure to come over to a very quiet place so I could have my full directions for you guys.
Well, bless your heart once again. Okay. Well, folks, you will see these royalty this year at many events. We're sure that we're going to try and get them on the program here to talk about what they've got in mind. Okay, moving on our schedule there. Friday through Sunday, June 9th through 11th, is the annual golf tournament. A 4-person scramble. That's at Fountainhead in Shakota.
Yes, that was this past weekend. Friday had filled a couple of weeks before, actually, so we had a great turnout. We had some fun times down there. Fountainhead had all their staff out there working really hard and ensuring all the citizens and guests had a good time.
Oh, that's cool. Moving along, we've got the slow pitch softball tournament coming up starting Friday, correct?
Yes. We just got the brackets posted yesterday, so I can't reinforce that idea, too much. That the brackets are posted. They're on creekfestival.com, and they're also posted on Facebook. But we have 117 games scheduled for this weekend.
Oh, God. You're going to have any 4 a.m. Starts there? I presume your tournament will last long into the night if need be.
Yes, we'll be utilizing both the city fields in Okmulgee, their 2 fields, and also our 4 Clover here as well.
Okay, I know that's a hugely popular sport among our citizens. Tell me, I know you probably have been pretty busy during the festivals there, but do you have any dynasties showing up in the softball world there? Is there a town or a team that's consistently on top there?
Yeah, we really do. I mean, actually, the majority of them are. They kind of a repeat. We're very blessed to be our timing of the festival that it's kind of the beginning of the softball season, and so we've had, for adding slow pitch and fast pitch together, we've had years that's 106 plus teams, which is just wonderful. And we've had to help other tribes before find those softball teams because it's later in the year for their festivals.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What might be an interesting turn of events is to have an intertribal tournament, see who's the best in the state.
We actually did that back in 2011, and I believe we did it again in 2012. We did have a few cancellations the last day, but we tried to get one team from the 5 tribes, and so we could do that and whatnot. But it was a great tournament. We had maybe 6 or 7 actually could make it. We had Cherokees and Choctaws. I believe the Chickasaws had to close that year, but yeah, we did that in 2011, 2012.
Oh, gosh. I'd like to see that and be able to promote that. That sounds really intriguing.
It was.
I presume there were no bust-ups behind the bleachers afterwards?
We give it all good, clean fun.
Okay, a little intertribal razzing, but that's all that's allowed. Okay, now we're seeing the tennis tournament there also on the 17th, beginning way in the morning at Hawthorne Park here.
Yeah, last year was the first year that it came back. Tennis has been a part of the festival before, and Vicki Tate is the coordinator for that. And she approached us last year and said, let's bring this back. And so last year was the test year, and it was very, very successful. And so this year she's kind of expanded that, and they've got a little bit better prizes and whatnot. So we're really excited for tennis. We're very happy that it's back at the festival.
Right, and then of course both of those sports will continue through Sunday the 18th until you get a winner, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right, moving on to the more action-packed week of festival, starting Thursday, June 22nd. One of our most popular cultural events, the Stomp Dance, will be taking place on festival grounds. That's always packed with people, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, it has grown so much, even in the past 4 or 5 years, moving it from over at the complex to now the Omniplex. It is just really ballooned. We're thankful that we have the facility over here to accommodate everybody, but yes, the Stomp Dance always kicks off Thursday night and kicks off the festival weekend.
Right, and Living Legends will be
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Now, do we have some names there yet?
They just released them. I'd have to pull it from the file. I know previous chief A.D. Ellis was among the winners. Cannot recall the others. I could try to look that up for you, but
Jory
they just
Coker.
yes, they just released those names, I believe, yesterday.
Okay. Let's see. Moving on to Friday. Oh, by the way, how's your time doing? I understand we also have Carmen on the line.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Let's see if our board op can.
I just hung up on him, and I will get Carmen.
Okay. Hello, Carmen.
Hello?
Hi, Carmen. It's Jay.
Yes. Hey, I can't make it this morning. I sent you an email yesterday morning, and I guess I should have called, and I really apologize. I have a neurologist appointment
Yikes.
this morning, and for my back. I tried to get other people to fill in, and I could not get no one to do that for me. So.
Okay, well, listen, I understand. It's pretty crazy over there. You guys are a little short-handed, but trying to soldier on and get this thing done. Well, I tell you what, we're going to then let you get on with your morning here, and we'll give a buzz back to Ryan, who was with us for a little bit there. So
I was going to say, Ryan is over there.
Yeah.
If you could talk him into doing it.
Yeah.
I tried to yesterday, but we might be able to do a little bit better job of doing it.
No, that's okay. We actually were talking to him when you called in. So, okay, well, you have a good one. All right, Ryan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, we had Carmen there on the line who was telling us she couldn't make it. So, a little more to confusion here. You heard it first on Mvskoke Radio, live and in action. Okay, now we have, Fredo Anderson, Joreen Coker, Ramona Mason, and of course our A.D. Ellis, who are this year's Living Legends, right?
Correct.
Okay, now this goes back to what it used to be before our former principal chief changed it to the Hall of Fame, and this one always seemed to be a little more, what do we say, crowd-friendly, community-friendly.
Yes, this is open to the public. We welcome everyone to come in and see it, and it does go back to what the Ellis administration had put forward, and back in 2011, 12, I believe Living Legends started in either 2004 or 2005.
Right, and then our previous principal chief changed it to a Hall of Fame black tie kind of thing. But I understand this change has been quite popular. Have you actually heard from anybody?
We've had a good response. Now, I've been more involved with it this year than the previous years. I know that the Living Legends Committee has been working very, very hard in trying to plan every detail to accommodate both the citizens, their families, and also just respective guests. Last year was their first year going back to having Living Legends, and they had a wonderful turnout. And so I know this year they took their plans from last year, and now they're increasing them to make sure they have the ability to handle larger crowds for this year, because we want to see it continue to grow.
Oh yeah, that's so wonderful to have our the stalwarts of our cultural community recognized like that. Okay, let's see. Moving on to Friday the 23rd, things really ramp up then. We've got Junior Olympics at Harmon Stadium, senior activities, rodeo, and traditional skills. All of that starting on Friday morning, right?
Yes. Yeah. One thing with the Junior Olympics, last year was the first year that we utilized the timing company, so we wouldn't actually have to have people there with the stopwatches and whatnot, and it proved to be pretty positive. So I know we've invited them to come back. We're making sure we have adequate restrooms. The health department has been wonderful in trying to ensure that we have all those capabilities and we have those things put in place for our youth and children.
Right. I've covered that event several times. My favorite is the tug of war with the little guys. And you've got misting stations again this year?
Yes, it's in the previous years. They're just going to make sure. We always pull our festival files from the previous year and say, okay, where were we great and where were we lacking, and let's try to make sure that next year it isn't even improved. So we do have a new coordinator. Her name is Brandy Cunningham, and she's been doing a fantastic job. And I know all of health and all the tribe has been pulling together to make sure that Junior Olympics is put on without any issues this year.
Well, now that you mention it, we were going to ask you about an issue that did pop up last year with some unknown person distributing drugs or something like that. Did you ever get that straightened out?
I do recall that happening last year. I was actually in a vehicle with Light Horse Police at the time, and that's one thing about putting on special events. You kind of have to prepare for everything, so that way you can handle situations like that. And we were very thankful that we had, EMS on site. The police were on site and whatnot, because you never know. When you always want to have a collection of people and have a good time, but any number of things can happen, and so we always have to make sure that we have those things in place.
Right. Yeah, we're seeing that kind of thing, of course, on a larger scale happening around the world. So
yeah,
it's unfortunate, but I'm glad you guys have taken up that issue. Now, will there be any adjustments to security or something that people need to know about?
It should be very similar to previous years. I know they'll have more probably boots on the ground in certain spots. I know that was mentioned inside Junior Olympics, but for the most part, last year I thought they handled it pretty well. I mean, like I said, you can never know exactly what's going to happen until it does happen, but I know now it's on the back of their minds to make sure that something like that never happens again.
That was such a pity to hear that something like that occurred at such a wonderful event. Okay, well, moving on, the senior citizens activities will be going on at the same time at the senior housing complex, right?
Yes, we have all those tents in place. Iveline Tatris is our coordinator for that event, and she's been working tirelessly to make sure all those things are done with the T. I spoke with her yesterday, and she was making sure she were getting her prizes in, and she was getting her quilt money orchestrated and whatnot. So we're really excited for the senior events. Okay,
you ready for any fierce games of jacks?
Oh, yeah. They don't want to see me playing jacks. They'd be win left and right.
God, I haven't played jacks since I was a little kid with our neighbors. Okay, and then, of course, one of the bigger and more popular events, it says Rodeo Slack on Friday at 8 a.m. Now, what does that term actually mean? Do you know?
I'm not completely sure, actually. I have been sitting in those committee meetings with the rodeo. Mike Sands is our rodeo coordinator and also coordinates the softball, so he's wearing two hats. But I do know it's something that they do need to do each year, and every year we verify what time that slack is going to be. Now, people can go and watch it and whatnot, but so that's why we make sure it's available on the schedule. But I do not actually know what the slack the term refers to.
Okay. Well, if any listeners out there actually do.
Overflow, contestant overflow.
Contestant overflow. Okay.
There you go. See, I learned something new for this year.
Yeah,
My
really.
seventh festival, I'm still learning.
Yeah, me too. I've seen rodeo since I was a kid, and not faithfully, but I never knew what slack meant either. But it's nice to learn something. Now, then comes next. One of the more cultural events starts at 9 with the traditional skills over west of the mound at the tribal complex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what skills are being displayed and encouraged here?
I know they do the bow shoots. We have a youth and an adult. John Brown in Cultural Center Archives is actually coordinating that event for us.
Okay, now that's the cornstalk shoot, right?
Yeah, traditional skills. Mm-hmm.
Right, with the traditional bows and those arrows, those big, long points on them. My gosh. Actually, tried it for a while when I was a kid. Around the house, my dad and I used to go to meets and shoot. Almost got. I think I did get a trophy. Come to think of it, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, now other skills. What do you recall? What's being displayed there?
Not offhand. I'd have to pull the file on it.
Okay, now that's been stuff like I think flint knapping or pottery or basket weaving. I've seen in past years, so that's the sort of thing that should be perhaps available in. Okay, now moving on in the morning, 10 a.m. when the sun's starting to heat up there, we've got the Children's Fun Fair. Now, that always kicks loose right about the time we have our live broadcast from the festival grounds right now. Those are usually the midway rides, the tilt-a-whirl kind of thing, the climbing towers. I think you have a carousel this year, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, we always have a Ferris wheel, inflatables, and things like that. And actually, we are about to revise that schedule. Due to popular demand, we've been requested to change the times of the fun fair. And what it's actually been is 10 a.m. is pretty early. We always go 12 hours, so it's always been 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And in the morning, that's perfectly fine, but towards the evenings when parents are enjoying the concerts and whatnot, the rides actually shut down. And so this year, we're revising our schedule. It's going to be 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., just because we've had so many requests for that. So it's still the same amount of time. It's 12 hours. But since the festival's still going on, even 11 p.m. at night, we wanted to make sure and extend that to those folks that are enjoying those concerts and whatnot.
And that wonderful activity is free, right?
Yes, there are no set prices on anything for the fun fair. All of those rides are available free of charge.
That's always such a good time to see all those smiles on their faces. Okay, let's see now. Starting at 11 to 5, we have the Cultural Center and Archives Art and Food Market. Now, that had usually been held on the grounds of the Council House, right?
Correct.
But this year...
This year they've actually merged. We have a revised schedule out that they're actually coordinating our arts and crafts and food vendors this year. So they've merged their food vendors and craft vendors with that of the actual festival. So they will be on site here at the Claude Cox Omniplex.
So that will not be there where it usually has been in past years, downtown Okmulgee. It will be out on the festival grounds, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we even added a new tent next to our Arts and Crafts Pavilion we fill every year. And so this year we reached out to our tent company, and we're adding a secondary tent so we could even expand to have even more arts and crafts vendors.
Now, about how many show up? Do you have an idea?
For the actual people that are enjoying them or the actual vendors themselves?
For the vendors.
Vendors themselves, including food, arts and crafts, and then also info booths, it's probably well over 50.
That's cool, man. I've seen a delightful variety of art media being displayed there, so that's a good place to catch up on your anniversary gifts, your birthday gifts, stash something for Christmas, things like that. Okay, now, moving along in that schedule, we have, of course, the arts and crafts and food vendors. Now, when will they actually be open for business there? If you wanted to Indian taco.
The food vendors?
Yeah.
On Friday, it's going to be at 5 p.m.
Okay, so it's kind of a warm-up for everything then, and at 5 p.m., ta-da, get in line for your fry bread, right?
Yeah, we try to ensure for all those folks getting off work at 5 that everything is ready, set, and can accommodate our guests and citizens.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe actually would work in favor of it being fresher, too. All right, nothing like getting greasy-faced there. Okay, now also that afternoon at 6:30, the rodeo at the Bob Arrington Rodeo Arena. What events have you got on that schedule? Do you recall?
There's actually 16. 16. There's actually a lot of major events. We have junior and senior events. This is mutton busting for the kids, calf scramble for the kids. But we have, barrel racers and things like that. Our rodeo is now the second largest native rodeo in the world. We've been ranked number 2 consistently for the past couple of years. So we wear that with pride that the Mvskoke Creek Nation is the second largest native rodeo.
Wow, that's quite an honor. Do you recall who's first? Is it the Navajos?
In the past, I believe it's been the Crows.
Oh, really?
I can't recall who actually had it for 2016.
Okay, well, that would make sense. Those guys are a bunch of cowboys anyway, though. Okay, well, that's always fun. And, of course, I guess the high point is always the bull riding, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of folks that enjoy that.
Those guys are crazy, man. Let's climb on a ton of angry animal and see if we can stay there. Okay, now, of course, one of the most popular events is the musical entertainment starting at 7 o'clock, Delta Ray. Now, what can you tell me about them?
Delta Ray has a really good reputation for soul. They're from the South. They kind of have this Creole, Louisiana feel to them. They're a wonderful group. I have actually seen them perform in the past. Both Carmen Tiger and myself are coordinating the festival entertainment this year, and it is something this is Carmen's 4th year coordinating, my 3rd, but this is the first year the nation has actually procured all of our own entertainment. So we have literally handled all of these preparations ourselves, just as our casinos do. So it's something that we're really happy to now have that ability inside the nation, and also have that knowledge to share to save the nation funds. But Delta Ray is going to perform a wonderful show. They put on a great show. Okay,
and the headliner at 9 o'clock, Leanne Womack.
Yes, yeah. Everyone probably knows her from one of her famous songs, I Hope You Dance. Mm-hmm. She's been toured the world before, and we're very, very happy to have her at the festival.
Okay, great. So country is ruling the night for Friday, right?
Yes.
That's always the way it's been anyway, right?
Yeah, Friday has consistently been country through a variety of different administrations.
Okay, well, let's move on. Of course, fireworks following the entertainment night.
Yes, we always have to have a huge show of fireworks. I've been told that sometimes I go a little overboard with the fireworks, but I always respond, can you really have too many fireworks? I mean, I don't hear that as a problem, but, I digress. It's going to be a wonderful show, and we always have the same company that comes out each year, and we're really excited to always have them here.
Oh, great, as long as you don't get a rocket landing on top of the travel plaza.
Whew!
Okay, moving on to Saturday, everything starts again early in the morning when it's a little cooler, hopefully, with the 7:30 a.m. 5K walk and run by the mound, right?
Yes, yeah, and one thing with 5K, Sean Partridge is the coordinator for that event. You can actually register for the 5K in 3 different ways. You can register online, you can register through a registration form beforehand, or you can register the day of. Now, there are limited quantities of shirts, and also there is a higher fee if you do register the day of. But she's ensured that citizens and guests can register any which way, because we want to make sure as many people that want to participate can.
Okay, that's an invitation to all of our runners there. Come out and stretch your stuff. Now, also in the morning, we have the rodeo slack again at the Arrington Arena, the fast pitch softball tournament. That's where the real serious folks get involved. Right?
Yeah, it's always competitive with softball.
Yeah, I've watched film clips of some of the pitchers in action. I'm just amazed that when they finish that windup and release, it looks like a cannonball coming out of there. How many teams are in that tournament this year?
The fast pitch is still open, so we're still taking entries through this week, actually. So we won't know until probably late Friday, early Monday when we start tallying all that up. Now, slow pitch is closed, but fast pitch is still open.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So theoretically, a team could go from one to another. Is that possible?
Well, they do turn in their rosters as well.
Okay. All right. Look out, no ringers this year. All right, now let's see. Horseshoes tournament. Now, I've seen some amazing people out there. Well, I think we got a glance at a guy who just ringer after ringer after ringer. Now, these are no slacks there. This is none of your backyard let's play horseshoes kind of stuff. These folks are intense, right?
Yes, yeah. Sarah Morgan is our horseshoe coordinator, and horseshoes has had such a positive response, I would say, the last 3 or 4 years, and it just continuously grows. I know this year it's even going to be larger than the previous years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, also it's an athletic morning for the festival. Also at 9, a 3-on-3 basketball tournament with the youth teams, is that right?
Yes, yeah, we will have the dome will be open and ready by 9 to start taking on those youth for their 3-on-3. Felicia Walker is coordinating that this year. It's her first time to coordinate the basketball. I know she's geared up and ready. And I know the Mvskoke Nation Youth Services Department will also be providing concession stand during that event at the Mvskoke Dome.
All right. Also that time in the morning is the cornstalk shoot and the volleyball tournament. Food and Market is geared up and ready to play then. Now this year, at 10 o'clock, the festival parade downtown Mulgi, right?
Yes, yes.
It's always a wonderful thing. I used to march in that thing, sweating to death in my Star Wars armor, but I've given it up. How many entries do you have? Do you recall?
Those are actually going to Melinda Dearingwater. I do know that she's still accepting them. Actually, right before I got on the interview this morning, I was working with one of the tribal towns and getting them an entry for the parade. So I know people are still turning them in.
Okay. Also, we're talking about the children's fun fair rolling on again, but here's an important thing. The child safety seat check by a light horse, is that right?
In the past, it's went through Health and Light Horse. I can't recall who's actually coordinating that this year. I'll have to look at my revised schedule, which we'll be posting on Creek Festival again probably today.
Okay, and then, of course, arts and crafts and food vendors available. Let's skip on down from 3 to 6, though, is an important event. The Creek hymn singing and gospel singing there at the Dome this year.
Yes. It's Lena Johnson's coordinating that event for us. It's her second year here, and we've had such a positive response. Actually, I believe this is their third year being in the Mvskoke Dome. In years past, it had been at the Mound Building, and there was an incident over there, and we were able to accommodate them over here at the Claude Cox Omniplex, and it just fit. So we've had such a positive response of having gospel singing here at the actual festival grounds.
Right, where the climate can be controlled there, too. That's
yeah, it's always nice when it's nice and cool.
Yeah, you don't see those Indian air conditioners waving in the breeze. Okay, now also wrapping up that day is the entertainment for the evening. Johnny Lang. Tell me about Johnny.
Johnny's a blues artist. This year we kind of have a country night for Friday and a blues night for Saturday. So Johnny Lang will be performing, and headliner will be Kenny Wayne Shepherd. So they've actually toured before as a group. So it's kind of wonderful that we were able to procure them separately, and basically now we've added Okmulgee and the Mvskoke Creek Nation as one of the places they've toured together. So that was pretty historic.
Okay, well that wraps it up pretty much. Of course, fireworks after the entertainment, and then the softball competition wraps up on Sunday, and that's this year's 2017 Creek Nation Festival, right?
Yep, the 43rd year. It'll be in the books.
Okay, you'll be ready to collapse when it's over.
We take our rest right after, but we have to make sure and get those receipts turned into finance.
Oh yeah. Okay, well listen, Ryan, thank you so much for sitting in and helping us out. We appreciate it. Good luck to you guys. As I say, my hat's off to you for covering so many bases there. You guys are just busy. So go relax while you can, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate that. You have a great day.
All right, 2,000 meadows. All right, Ryan Logan of Tourism and Recreation, and joining us in the studio now are a couple of good friends and always fun radio guests. Of course, our TV host, Jason Salzman from Native News Today, and then Chris Asbill are wearing several hats. Secretary of the Interior. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Gary. Glad to be here. Good morning.
All right, now, Chris, first of all, before we get rolling here, one of the greater things that's been happening at the festival grounds has been the splash pad. And it opened up to such a wonderful reception, last year? And then due to mechanical problems, had to shut its run down earlier while your crews worked on it. So what's the status for this year?
So the status is that it's back open. I think we had some real challenges in the construction and the installation of the splash pad. Basically, it was open for a fairly short period of time, and then we immediately started having problems. Started having some pipes broken underneath the slab, some drainage issues. The drainage issues still are not 100% resolved, but then we notified the contractor. The contractor said he's going to come out and fix it. A month goes by, another month goes by. We send him an official letter from the AG's office to correct the deficiencies. Then all of a sudden the guy dies.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So we're still pursuing litigation. The nation will be made whole on the deal, but in the interim, as a tribal construction department, we decided to go ahead and correct some of the deficiencies so that people can use it. I know my kids were out there last weekend on Sunday, and I think they had 2 birthday parties, and they're all running out there. So I think the big story here is that it's open. We didn't want to maybe put out a big press release about it because, with the shoddy construction of it, you never know when it's going to break again. You never know if there's going to be another issue. So we're crossing our fingers and hopefully that we can get through the summer with a nice splash pad so people can enjoy out there.
Okay, in case people are curious, what are the hours?
The hours are, I think it's pretty much open. If the gates are open, you can go over there and enjoy the splash pad.
Okay, 9 to 5, something like that?
Well, I think more than that. There's people out there in the evening time. There's people out there early in the morning. So
Generally, the dome and as much as the dome stays open. So I believe it's till 8 p.m. on weekdays, and on weekends, I believe it's around 3 or 4, something like that. But I mean, like Chris said, you go out there all the time and the gates are open. You can go check out the splash pad. It's just like a park, and a lot of people in Okmulgee use it as the park for their kids. I know we have the big park at the YMCA, of course. It's a great park that kids use a lot, but you want a little variety. It's certainly, my kids like the dome playground about as much as they like any of the other ones. So that's not me plugging it. I'm just saying.
Go ahead.
And to jump into just on what Chris was saying, just to give us a little bit more to talk about on the situation, Chris, there was a lot of turnover and you guys trying to really put the right pieces in place that also coincided with some of the issues at the splash pad. So that kind of compounded it, didn't it?
it did, and I think the construction industry is an area that you can really get taken to the cleaners on. So, and so, you really have to make sure you have, one, really, really honest people, really, really competent people, and you have everybody in place so that, because every decision that you make that is a bad one compounds on itself. And sometimes it takes many, many months to get over a bad decision. Sometimes you never get over a bad decision in a construction project. It's that critical. And so moving forward, we wanted to make sure that we had the right person in place. We hired Steve Emerson. He been in the construction field really his entire life. His dad was in construction. He was in construction. He taught construction at Green Country Technology. And
built so many houses for people in the Okmulgee area. I mean, so many, and great program there. He's done a wonderful job.
Jason, let me ask you real quick. Now we see you and your crew scurrying all over the place, covering the festival now.
Yes.
I guess the movement for our department, Mvskoke Media, is to get more of this out there for people to access on the computer, online, and of course in your show. Do you have anything planned where might be somebody say howdy while you're out in the field?
Yeah, one of the things, Gary, that we always try to do with the festival is that, I mean, for crying out loud, this is 43 years, so the constant struggle is to find a new angle, something fresh. Whether you're the festival committee looking to add a new event, you're someone like Chris that's looking to put something else out there at the Omniplex to make it, new, fresh, exciting, whatever. For us, it's a way to tell the story of the festival in new, different, exciting ways. And so at Mvskoke Media, we sort of this year we're looking to make it about the people. Where are you from? What are you doing here? What is it that you get out of this festival? Why do you like it? And basically just these short snippet narratives from people themselves. So sort of like a People of the Festival series. That sounds a little bit too much like People of Walmart, website out there, but it'll probably be a little bit like that. You're going to get some characters out there that are eccentric. You're going to get some people that ain't going to want to tell you much, and they just want to kind of go about their business. But really, this is my, gosh, oh Lord, it's gonna make me sound old, but this is my 11th festival. No, seriously, I got 11th festival. So,
but sometimes you also get people, wearing clothes they wore in high school when they're 40 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to turn the page.
The sense of fashion has not developed.
Get the wardrobe a little bit updated. Let go of the past and embrace something that fits. Like Chris says.
I'm sure we'll see a mullet or two out.
Oh God, yeah, I hope so. Well, if Mike Gundy comes down, we'll see.
There we are.
Sure.
Yeah. Here he's sticking around to do something.
Yeah, I was going to say, he talked about, kind of having something new, something fresh, and it's not only from a media standpoint, but also putting on a festival. But I think the one thing that doesn't get stale is seeing those people that come back that only come back maybe once a year, and you get to see them and you get to visit with them and you get to see how they're doing. And that's the things that are always changing, because people really make the festival. And our friends, family, people that we've, co-workers, people that we maybe used to work with, over time, they start coming back, and it is kind of like a big family reunion. And I think that's the part of the festival that I enjoy the most.
Right, and all of the Vox Pop Voice of the People interviews that I've done out there, that was consistently the one thing they always mention is seeing people, reunion, old friends and relatives they hadn't seen in such a long time.
It really is like we throw out all these terms about the festival, and it is fun, and it's a good time, and there are sports events, but really it is our national holiday. It is a time just for all things Mvskoke Creek. I mean, we get people coming to the festival that have no idea anything about our culture and leave the weekend going, well, I didn't see a powwow. I saw a stomp dance. But so then there's that education. But then you get creeks that have been gone for a while, like Chris said. You get people from California that come back, or people from out of state that this is their one trip a year where they want to come back home and check everything out. And really, for the Creek Nation, it's a labor of love, but it really is a responsibility. It's a responsibility to put on something that is worthy of the investment that these people are making to make this such a big deal in their lives. So
right now, I asked about the budget for this thing a couple of years back, and after some reluctance, they finally told me it was over six figures easily, and that's quite an investment for an event for us.
Yeah, anyway. Absolutely. And I mean, for me, of course, the journalist in me, brings up the questions of, this is totally free event. At what point do we entertain maybe getting some of that back? And maybe a $5 to get into the Omniplex, not for the citizens, but I'm just saying, what point do we entertain that just to see what kind of return we can get back and see if we can keep up the same amount of, attendance? Because I look out here and just this past weekend, the Okmulgee Pecan Festival, great turnout, lots of kids, lots of families coming, the rides, everything like that. But you gotta pay for a wristband out there. You gotta pay for each ride, a ticket to the ride. that's not happening at the Creek Festival, but it's not keeping people away from the Pecan Festival. So maybe you entertain those ideas to say, hey, it's going to be very, very cheap and something that's an incredible value, but at least we're getting a little something back to help out, supplement that budget. I don't know if that's ever been entertained, but I just think that if you bring it up, maybe we talk about it.
No, well, sooner or later, I understand such a proposal is being discussed at the water cooler and in the wind and this sort of thing. So who knows? There may be a nominal, hopefully nominal.
Man, that water cooler, it always provides, doesn't it?
When we're talking about that festival relating to the community, Chris, let me ask you to put on a different hat as a government representative for the community here. First of all, what does this festival mean to Okmulgee?
Well, I think, that from a tourism standpoint, it's probably one of the biggest events of the entire year. I think it kind of was able to showcase all the improvements we made over the year and the improvements that Mvskoke Creek Nation has made. And, the city of Okmulgee is, for the last 5 years since I've been on the council, we've been one of the lead sponsors. I think this year we did a $15,000 sponsor. And so that shows the collaboration amongst the community, and I think what's good for Creek Nation is what's good for the city of Okmulgee. So I think finally we kind of have everybody pulling on the rope in the same direction and really supporting each other. Actually, we had the license review board this meeting at 9, this morning at 9, and everything went through for all of our licenses and fees that we had to pay the city, and just really accommodating. And we got a great staff at the city of Okmulgee, and I think they enjoy working with tribal officials.
Well, while we're talking about Okmulgee, we're seeing, this campaign to make it a more artsy, friendly, open city instead of the sleepy little dusty Oklahoma town it used to be at one point, but it's now opening up. We're seeing this happening downtown. And the revival of the Pecan Festival is a great example of what the community itself with. So with the campaign there from the festival following so closely on the heels, this is like got to be having some effect then on the town here.
Oh, I think it is. We had I think Salzman's band. He played this last weekend and at the Pecan Festival. So you have the Pecan Festival, you have the Creek Festival, you have the fireworks from the city, which is a really big thing now.
And we're playing the fireworks show too. Just
really?
Put that in there real quick.
And the band is
the Brent Giddens band. And our lead singer is an egomaniac. We don't just have a band name. He gets to put his name on everything.
Oh my God.
I'm joking.
Yeah, of course.
I'm serious though. It's just his name. I mean, I wish we were something cool like Grasshopper or something like that.
There are a couple of names floating around, I'm sure.
No, we're playing that too. It was a great time, and it's like you said. City sponsors the festival. Creek Nation sponsors Pecan Festival. It's a great give and take. It makes a lot of sense, and it makes Okmulgee really a great place to be in the month of June. I mean, I know the city wants me to say all 12 months, and I live here, and I'll say I love being here and seeing the revitalization. But in June, with these two events back to back, I mean it's awesome, and for people to like I said, you don't break the bank, to bring them to these festivals, and there's food trucks and bands and good times. It's really cool, and all kinds of stuff. So that I love.
Now we probably should reemphasize this is a family event.
Yes, it is.
And alcohol.
Calm yourself.
Yeah, alcohol is really not welcome here.
Right.
They've changed, it stiffened up some rules, no ice chests and things like that.
Well, and they stiffened up security too. I think a lot of people remember a few years ago there was a security problem at the festival, and I think it was 3 years ago maybe. We had a big problem out there with fights and things like that. And then I think last year or maybe the year before, I think it was last year, but really you saw the mobile command unit out there, the bird's nest, sort of really stepping it up from the police force and Light Horse, stepping up the security out. And it's really, for me anyway, that was sort of a blip, a few years ago, as I'm talking about, because it's always been, somewhere where you could just go out and enjoy it and not have to worry about anything and just walk around. But, folks, at the same time, that's the world we're living in.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of people in a spot, you're bound to have a couple knuckleheads. And it's not an indictment on the place that's putting it on or the city that's hosting it or anything like that. It's an indictment on these individuals. I think we get a lot of the times in today's, we want to blame a whole for the actions of a few and things like that, when in reality, it's time to hold individuals responsible for their actions. And I think that, as long as we've got a great security presence out there, as we do, and a lot of great volunteers, people with their eyes and ears open, it's going to be a great event once again. And I just think that, it's important to stress that, though, that there are people out there, putting on the line and making sure everybody's good, and want to give them a big shout out.
Okay, and remember, alcohol plus knucklehead equals trouble.
Oh, yeah, goodness gracious. We're just thinking about your college days, Gary. Alcohol knucklehead, that took me right there.
Oh, yeah, me and...
You drove a motorcycle in college?
No,
I'm kidding.
I was one of those poor...
He drove a war pony is what he drove in college.
Actually,
knuckleheads with a motorcycle too, right?
That's right, but I was in a 64 Ford Fairlane. Actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was...
Cherry ride.
You probably had a bunch of flowers painted on the side of it too, didn't you?
No way.
No, it's black. It was looking black.
Oh, man, yes.
And then,
I hope you got a Polaroid of that.
No, somewhere along that. It's the last car I could do any shade tree mechanics on. These days with all these computers and stuff, I look at it and go, no.
I know, poor mechanics thing.
Right, now, the show Native News Today's always picks some highlights.
Sure.
To feature, and then there's always got to be tons of stuff left over.
Yeah.
But as a TV producer, what are you looking for when you're covering the festival, and what and why do you choose a certain segment?
Well, it's interesting because my job, to make good television, and also my responsibility to the nation and the festival itself, is to present the festival in a shrunken Cliff's Notes version to the people that couldn't make it, right? That's what I get to do. So I'm going to be able to make a video to say, in 3.5 minutes, here's the Mvskoke Creek Nation Festival. And I smash 3 weeks, basically, into 3 minutes. But what you do when you have to do that is you really look at, what you can see visually that encapsulates a lot of things emotionally. So
tells that story.
Right, absolutely. So you're looking for vivid imagery. You're looking for big moments, firework bursts. Johnny Lang just sawing a guitar. Delta Ray doing whatever they do. I never heard of them, but
okay, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, but Gary, it's just for me the responsibility is to portray the festival through video for the people that want to know what it's like, and that want to see the story of the event itself. And to be able to do that is not only taxing, but it's a lot of fun too. It's one of the funner times that I have, in my job, is being able to edit all that stuff down. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that kid, just throwing their head back and laughing their tail off, on a ride at the fun fair, or a grandmother hugging her niece that she hadn't seen in a long time because they live 5 states apart and they're meeting up at the festival. Those are the kind of things I really look for.
The greasy-faced kid eating fries.
The greasy, that would be a selfie in my case.
Yeah, I've always got orders to bring some home.
Right? Yeah. I know. I have to get it all gathered up in the tin foil as well.
It ends up with a really busy crew. Now let's give a little credit to your colleagues, Jared Moore and Devaney Luxey.
Don't make me do that. They're all right, I guess. They're out there. No, they're out there with me. They do a great job, and like I said, some shows out there, and they got 40 people in the credits and lots of resources. That ain't us. We got 3 individuals working on a TV show and putting it out every week, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it goes. And and because of that, there's a little extra pride in what we do, because it's not easy putting out 30 minutes of television content every week, and especially when you got 3 people doing it. So those 2 really hustle, and I got to give it up to Jared Moore, like you said, and Devaney Luxinger. Anybody knows Jared knows that it probably takes somebody a little bit insane to do what he does, and I think anybody that knows Jared would say that he's a little bit insane. So it's great fun to work with those 2. They're loud personalities, not necessarily loud people, but loud personalities. They got really a lot to them, a lot going on with each one of them. So it's fun to be able to work in that environment.
Okay, you were wanting to jump in here, Chris?
Oh, I was going to say, tomorrow, we have our volunteer luncheon, and it's really kind of the first part. It's hey, the festival is here. We'll be handing out T-shirts, giving everybody information about the festival, working with event coordinators, just have a few presentations, and just hoping everybody has a good time and stays safe and stays hydrated, and just put it out there. But so tomorrow's kind of that day that we say, hey, the festival's here.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, Chris, because that's a really special part of this event too, is the fact that the volunteers are all Creek Nation employees that take the time and come out to make this, because there's no way you could put this on without volunteers, right? What would it look like without people out there working it in the festival shirts and everything like that? But those are employees that are, a lot of the times off the clock, things like that. And compensated for that, but at the same time, you're taking your time out to make sure that this is a great event, and I'm really glad you brought that up, Chris, because I wanted to shout out the employees that are volunteers and that help out to really make it happen.
Okay, well, I tell you what, we want to invite everyone out to the festival coming up. Now, it will be running from Thursday, the 22nd.
Yeah, isn't that neat that we got the stomp dance thing figured out? I mean, that's such a big event, that Thursday night. It really kicks it off.
It would have been such a disappointment.
Well, you got to give kudos to the government, the chief and them working together, chief and second chief, and the Mikos getting together and really putting it on the table and figuring this out.
Exactly.
That's government at work, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah, right. Now, that is the 22nd through the 25th with the softball tournament wrapping up on Sunday. So, okay, get out your suntan lotions and your powwow hats and sunglasses. Come on out and join us. And remember, next week we will not be here on Wednesday morning. We're moving that to Friday morning to do a live remote broadcast from the festival grounds. Thank you so much to Brooks Brewer for making that possible.
Thanks, Brooks.
Thank you, Brooks.
Okay, guys, thanks you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, one quick.
Can you guys check on that past invoice that we owe, Brooks?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Golf cart.
Let's see. Let's squeeze this in. The Earth Day event that had been rained out on the 16th is rescheduled.
Yeah, I'd like to say something about that.
On the 16th, they're going to be doing that. What you got?
Yeah, just real quickly. I know we were short on time, but the Earth Day event this Friday was rescheduled from a previous event that was rained out, and we decided, we'll move it to the Friday before the festival. We'll get all the roads cleaned up, and it's really going to have a positive impact on the way the festival looks.
It's always so nice to see our people taking care of our planet like that. Okay, we only got a couple minutes left. Last question of the day: what's your favorite part of the festival? Chris, let's start with you.
I think the favorite part is. Yeah, exactly. I like the softball. I like going over there watching softball. I mean, I can watch softball all day long. Going to the refreshments, and it kind of makes me nostalgic when I was in high school and playing baseball, and always going up to the refreshment stand or the concession stand. So. Okay,
we got a minute left. Mr. Sullivan?
Well, for me, I like to take my little ones to the kids fair because it allows me to spend time with them while I'm at work, so I can kind of wear 2 hats at the same time. I played softball for many years, so I love going over there and peeking at that as well. So really, for me, I take a little bit of everything because I'm fortunate because although while working, I'm fortunate in that respect to be able to almost hit every event You know what I mean? So I can take a little bit from each one and sort of put them all together in a great big experience, and it's always awesome.
Okay. Well, come out to the festival. We'll see you all then. Until then, Mado Madbo Hedgetskut, Gary Fife, Jaho Jifkidos. You've been listening to Mvskoke Radio. Join us again next week for more local, tribal, and community news and updates. Mado.
On the air, on your phone, and online, it's classic hits of the 60s, 70s, and 80s.